Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rick H., and I'm joined by my brother, Benny Banks.
Yo, what's up? It's me. Ha
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Also, I'm here.
Craze Boogie.
I don't know.
And our guest today is Cessie Cerrato. Did I say that right?
You
Yay!
On the first try.
She is the first female guest on our show,
That's
so
cool.
congratulations. You'll hold back.
I'm humbled.
Is this your first podcast ever?
It is not.
It's not?
No.
Wow.
We were your first, but we not. All
all
right.
that back.
Forget it. Forget it.
Damn.
But we met in a podcast panel that was held by HPRA. Did I say that right, Erica? You're in here somewhere. So HPRA had a podcast panel last Wednesday, and Cessie was the moderator. And I invited her on the show, and she's our first female guest.
They let you on it.
Yeah,
I have no
don't
clue.
know.
Apparently, he has a lot of expert stuff to say about podcasts.
I have no clue what we're doing in this show, and it was a panel on how PR and media could work with podcasters.
And brands, how brands
Brands
are working
as well.
to integrate their messaging into podcasts.
So you should explain a little bit. I mean, I was just sitting there in the back seat. I was like, why am I even here?
Because you're the expert.
I was
You're
not
one of
an
the
expert. I
experts?
had no clue as to what we were doing.
Well, I think that part of the reason why we had that panel is because podcasts are still relatively new, and brands are still kind of trying to figure out how to position themselves in the world of podcasts, right? And
Yeah.
Right.
I think that we still don't know how to navigate that, at least from a PR perspective, how to navigate, how we can expose our clients' brands and get to work with, podcasts like this one.
So you use the word we. She is in PR as well. So that's why she's also on the show. You're our first PR media person as our guest, I think, on the show. We always have a PR
A lot of
person sitting in the
firsts.
back. Yeah. Yeah, and you weren't, this is not your first
You're a
podcast.
pioneer.
I'm sorry. I should have saved myself for the Rick show.
You should have, yes.
So who is Cessie Cerrato? Were you born and raised in New York, or what's your family background?
So
How did you end up in New York?
What's your social security?
Exactly.
my credit is very good if you pull up my social security number. And thanks to
Social Security.
Manny, he's gotten my credit in check.
Shout out Manny.
Oh, we want to shout out Manny and congratulations, you guys are getting married in August, so congratulations, a big fan. Manny is here, sitting in the back,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Trying
Thank
to
you,
be
man.
low key, cause
trying to be very low key.
With the beard, always with the beard.
Luxurious beard, low key.
Okay.
So who is Cessie? I am an American. I am a Cuban American. My parents are both Cuban. I was born and raised in Miami, and it was always my dream to kind of move to New York. I came here for the first time when I was 17 years old on a field trip with my little sister, and I was her chaperone because my mom couldn't make it last minute.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yes.
How is a 17-year-old
The chaperone.
a chaperone?
Listen, I was a very responsible child. I had a key to my house, and I used to walk home every day since I was 10 years old, and take care of my brother until my mom and my dad got home. So I was a very responsible child.
That's
AKA
crazy.
mind your
Miami.
business.
AKA, I was raised right. Okay, all right. So
When you have Cuban parents, hello.
I have a Cuban mother-in-law, so I know
Oof.
exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, my mom couldn't make it at the last minute, and I came as her, to supervise my little sister, and I just fell in love with New York the first time I stepped foot in Times Square. I was just mesmerized. Now I literally can't stand it, but
So you're an official New Yorker.
yes,
Been here a little while,
I
yeah.
feel like I am. And so now I just always wanted to come here. I went away to school. I'm a Gator, University of Florida, and then after a couple of years, I went back home, and then I always just kind of wanted to, move here. So I was very lucky. The company I was working for at the time, which is still the company I'm working for now, Palace Resorts, kind of let me make the move. It made a lot of sense. All the media is here. New York City is really where it's at when it comes to media and, our world. So I was coming up here so many times a year for work and for meetings, and it was just maximize
Makes
my
sense.
time here.
So
here I am.
Miami and New York, which one do you like better?
New York, 100%.
There we go.
I mean,
Good.
you just graduated to being a New Yorker right there.
No, Miami
Why?
will always be
Why?
home. a special, like, I love Miami. I'm not, I hate Miami. I just, Miami will always be home. There's no good Cuban food here in New York, by the way, you guys. That is, I'm going to tell you the only place that Manny and I have found legit Cuban food that is just like home, if not even better.
Where is
It's
it?
in Gowanus, and it's called My Cuban Spot. And our friend Louis Estrada is the chef and the owner. And
Nice plug.
it is the only place that literally tops any Cuban spot in Miami. So,
shout out Louis
Really?
Estrada. Good plug.
Did you just do that to plug his restaurant?
you know,
You gotta do it. But you don't
I
need
will be going
Cuban
there,
food when you got Dominican food. You got the best Dominican food
yeah,
here.
good
you know?
Dominican food, yes.
So you don't really.
And good Puerto Rican food.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Sometimes,
it's like
It
so-
feels like it's the
like a
same. Dude.
nuance.
It's like it's
Nah, it's different. Their black beans are
Come
different
on.
than ours.
The black beans are different.
Yeah,
We
the
all eat the same
ropa
thing.
vieja's
We-
different.
right,
Ropa
blah,
vieja
blah.
is different.
Come on.
I like to make chicken ropa, vaca frita. Have you guys had that?
No, what's
It's
that?
like the healthy version of vaca frita. It's just like basically ripped chicken, and then you fry it with like
So you
cilantro,
cook in the house
onions,
and
and
everything.
lime. It's really good. Yeah.
Hey.
But
we should've
I've been
ordered
to a lot of
food,
Cuban restaurants. My
Yeah.
wife is Cuban, and there's not one like her grandmother used to throw it down in the kitchen.
Right.
Her mom makes really good food too. My mother-in-law's meatballs are very famous, first of all, and the black beans that she does are very famous.
Okay.
So, you said there is Cuban food in New York. It's Miami.
You just gotta go to Rick's.
Yeah. Make it in your
I
house.
seen no
I just told
restaurants
we gotta go to
that-
Jersey for like
Because I've been to
Jersey?
Cuban. Yeah. That's why I've been
There's
told.
a lot
if
of
you want
Cubans in
authentic
Jersey.
Cuban food, you gotta go to Jersey.
Oh.
Like the Cuban spots
Or
we've
go
gone
back
to
to
here
Miami.
in New York, like except for my friend's spot.
That
in
makes
Gowanus,
sense though.
like-
There's like a lot of Cubans in Jersey.
This why?
Yeah,
they are.
Why?
Like Victor's Cafe, it's very famous.
In New Jersey.
No, it's
Oh,
near
no,
Times
it's
Square.
yeah.
Like it's near the theater district.
Oh, but I heard her bad.
And like I ordered empanadas, and then they served them like on a bed of guac, and I was like, what?
Nah.
Wait a second.
It's Mexican fusion.
Yeah,
that's
no, but they brand themselves a Cuban restaurant.
Nah.
So yeah,
We can't
Gotta
rock
read
with
the
you.
fine
Cubans
print.
might eat a big aguacate on the side of whatever meal they're eating, but they're not eating guacamole with their
Nah.
empanadas.
So Cuban restaurants in New York, no bueno.
No bueno.
Well,
Whatever
Miami,
else in
give
New
us
York.
one in Miami then.
Go.
Ah,
that you
God.
really like.
The
There's
best
too many.
croquetas, Isla Canaria.
Versailles.
Versailles is the bomb also. Sergio's is good.
How you know
one of my
about
favorites.
that, Crazy Boogie?
It's
South Beach.
legendary. Every president has
I'm
gone
a traveled
to
man, bro. What the fuck?
the La Ventanita of Versailles and had un cafecito there. That's
Exactly.
like tradition.
So
Yeah.
Cessie is in PR. What is PR for our audiences?
Wait,
that are being
hold on.
introduced
I have
to-
more questions. I wanted to know when was the last time you've been to Cuba?
You're just
Have
hungry.
you been to Cuba?
I've never been to Cuba.
Never been to Cuba.
Oh, dang.
But the thing is, you never ask a Cuban if they've been to Cuba,
Why?
when they're going back,
Oh, I
because it's
can't
kind
ask
of
a Cuban
sensitive.
You can ask, but I don't get offended, but a lot of Cubans.
Why?
Because for.
Because a lot of them got kicked out and they're like,
Well,
They
they didn't get kicked out.
out.
They left.
They
That's
left?
a very
We're gonna have
that's a misconception, and that's very
We're gonna have to
wrong.
give you like some
Yeah.
sensitivity training.
I'm asking questions
No,
because I don't
So
know.
basically,
So
like
I'm
I was
asking
raised.
questions,
So
man.
my grandparents left Cuba. My mom must have been like 11 years old. So
Okay.
she went to middle school and high school in the United States. But when they left because everything was going down, and the government took everything from them. And so
Right.
my grandfather passed away 4 years ago. But while he was alive, whenever I would bring up, I want to go to Cuba, I want to go with you, and he was like, ¿Pa qué tú quieres ir para allá? Eso es una mierda. Like, he wanted to remember it how he remembered it. And so he had a lot of, the way they see it is, why are you going to go back to a country and give back to a government that took everything from your family?
Right.
Like, you can go to a bunch of other places.
Okay.
And
So you
That
would
makes
never
sense.
go back.
So
you would never-
Manny's
I-
Cuban. You want to ask Manny? As
Manny,
well?
would you ever go to Cuba?
I've been to Cuba.
There
Boom,
you go.
There you go.
No, I'm not against it. It hasn't been on
Nah.
my list of
She was
Bam.
explaining to you
No, I'm just.
what the journey was.
He was the one that told me to ask Manny.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Go.
How do your parents feel about it, Manny?
What?
the
I
same.
went with my parents.
Oh, they went
Oh,
back.
you see?
Well,
And my dad was a political prisoner.
wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So not everybody
Yeah,
feels
but-
the same
But
way.
they go,
That's
you know,
the thing
most
she was
goes
trying
to
to
visit
say.
family they haven't seen in years. That's really the main.
Okay,
Right, but
that's the
they're
only
not.
reason.
They're not a
But they
big
wouldn't
fan
go
of
back,
us. They
though.
wouldn't be a big fan of
Right?
us going on a lavish
like a
vacation
tourist
to Cuba.
Vacation, yeah.
You know.
Like a
Okay.
tourist thing. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be like.
I mean, I'm not
I
against
get it.
going. I actually do want to go. I want to know where my mom was
Right.
born, where my grandparents lived. Like, it's part of me. I want to go, absolutely.
Right.
But it just hasn't been on my
Hasn't
radar
happened.
as of yet.
Wow.
Not yet.
Wow.
I want to go one day.
Thank
But
you.
I will.
Yeah, I would love to go to
I
Cuba.
have to go to Cuba. I'm going to Cuba.
Yeah.
I would love to go, like, to see it personally. It's beautiful. I've seen photos of.
They tell me
my. There's a little rescue here. My wife's grandfather
Mhm.
was a photographer,
Right.
so they have all these really old photos in the house, and it looks amazing. So I
No,
want
it
to go
does.
back.
Yeah.
Just like be sensitive to
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
the people that live there. Like
Right.
they say, you know, if you're gonna go, like try to give back as much as you can to the
Right.
locals. Like don't stay in a resort. You know, try
Okay.
to stay in una casa particular, which is like
Yeah.
people that live there, and like you know you're helping them out. Just because a lot of
That'd be really cool too.
a lot of the money that you spend there doesn't really go back
Back
to
to the
them.
people,
It goes to
Right.
their government. So
I heard about the restaurant thing too. Like most restaurants are out of somebody's home.
oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
so
Really?
you go-
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
you know, but like I mean, the people that
That
live
sounds
there.
cool though.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not the same. They can't go up to the same nice, you know, bar that you're gonna go have your mojito and you know smoke your cigar.
Well, I would
Yeah.
go to like hang out with the locals. So
Hang out
For
with
sure.
the locals,
I'm,
chill on the beach.
not really a resort type of
This
dude.
guy's a tourist, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not a
How many
resort.
resorts you been to?
Bro, that's not the point of my
This
conversation.
guy, he's also super phony because he never watched soccer in his life. He went to Europe and he came back the biggest soccer fan. I swear to God.
Hold on.
Barcelona.
I swear.
To my defense,
he
I used to
never-
watch soccer
No,
when
he
the World
didn't.
Cup.
He's
when
a
the
liar.
World Cup would
He's
come
lying.
on,
A
right?
liar.
When the World Cup would come on,
Liar.
I went to Barcelona. I
He's
fell in love
not.
with the city, and that's my
Okay.
FC
Right.
Barcelona,
Right.
Forza Barça.
Okay.
You
Okay.
got the scarf?
I'm about to buy one.
Oh, that's what you legit. When
Did you
got the
ever run
scarf.
with the Bulls while you were there?
I didn't get a chance to because we did go to Madrid. That happens in Madrid.
No, that happens in Pamplona.
Oh.
Well, I didn't get to do that. When we went,
The
it
actual
was.
running with the Bulls. There's bull fights in Madrid in the
Yeah,
stadium.
I saw the
Right.
stadium.
Yeah.
But when we went, that wasn't like the season that they were doing any of that.
Do you guys have a hotel over there too?
Where?
In Barcelona
No,
or
we
Madrid?
don't. We don't. We have hotels in Mexico and Jamaica.
In Jamaica?
Cancun,
Mexico.
Riviera Maya, Los Cabos.
On the beaches.
Shout out to my Mexicans, my Colombians, my Puerto Ricans, and my Dominicans that are in the audience right
What
now,
about
and
the
my
Jamaicans?
Cubans too.
Sarah Puebla.
Oh, I love Jamaican food.
Oh, I.
Jamaican
Yo.
jerk chicken.
What?
So can I bring it back now that we
All
asked
right,
all
right,
the
yeah,
Cuban
yeah,
stuff?
This is your fucking show.
I'm just saying, we're gonna get into PR right now. We're gonna ask her what PR is.
I
All
have
right.
more questions. Go ahead.
Benny wants to freaking know when's he going to Spain or whatever. So PR, what is PR, and what made you get into that field?
So I actually ended up in PR by accident. PR is, you know, what is PR? PR is so complicated. It used to be so easy, and now it's gotten so complicated. PR is basically publicizing whatever it is about your client. You know, you could be my client. It would be my job to basically make sure that the media and consumers knew who you were, what you're about, what you do. If you launch, you know, a T-shirt line, a hat line, getting you in front of media, getting you in front of like the right influencers, so that everybody's aware of your brand and what you're about, and obviously help
So,
increase your sales,
Our
right?
PR person is not doing her job. You just
Visibility.
saying? No, I'm just.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm only kidding. I'm only
I'm about to throw you
kidding.
something.
Erica.
So you
So-
also work for Palace Resorts.
I do, and I'm
And you do PR for that.
correct.
shout out Palace
And
Resorts.
how's
Palace Resorts.
was that? I mean, you have a lot of amazing pictures in other places.
Yes. I
how's-
mean, I love to travel, so I basically ended up in PR by accident. When I was in college, I really wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be on TV. I was like, got into TV broadcasting, and then I just didn't love it enough. And I said, well, let me try PR. It's kind of like the opposite end of working with journalists, media, and PR people. And it worked out really well for me. I ended up working at a couple of PR agencies in Miami, and then I got into travel by accident. I was basically recruited by an agency who won the Mexico Tourism Board account, and it was a big, massive government account. And it was my first time working in the travel space and working for a government account, which is very, very complicated but amazing. I really got to know Mexico in and out. I went to a lot of
Nice.
parts of Mexico that I probably would have never gone to on my own, and kind of just helping brand Mexico, and I'm sure that's like another conversation we could have
That's
another.
crazy, yeah.
But-
Wait, what do you mean brand Mexico?
Well,
Like,
brand Mexico,
sell it to people?
you know, absolutely, as a travel destination, and kind of just always being in the face of the media and promoting travel as a Mexico destination, whether it's, you know, for food that you like to travel, because Mexican food is amazing, or culture. I mean, Mexico has so much to offer, right? I mean, a lot of people don't know that. They just think it's just the beaches and that's it, but there was actually a lot, so that was part of my role working with the Mexico Tourism Board, was kind of positioning Mexico as a tourist destination, and of course shutting down a lot of misconceptions, because you guys know that Mexico has not the best image in the media sometimes about safety and things like that. So kind of just like helping people understand that traveling to Mexico is just as safe as you make it to be.
Okay. So
I think that's anywhere you go though.
Exactly.
What's the best Mexican food that you had in Mexico?
Street tacos in,
Street
in
tacos?
Mexico City, absolutely. Some gringas.
Did you try birria? When you were out there?
What's that? What is that? Explain it.
It's like a stewed meat that they make in Mexico.
Ooh.
Does it have cow tongue? Because if it does, I tried it.
They have one that has.
Yes.
It's like, you know, it's like carne guisada,
Uh-huh.
but it's like they eat it with tortillas and stuff like this.
Oh,
So our best friend is Mexican. He happens to be here with his brothers, but we're more Mexican than him because he's never been to Puebla, but that's where he's from though.
Got it.
And we've tried more Mexican food than he has.
Mexican, I don't blame you. Mexican food is.
So here's the thing. I used to watch a lot of Anthony Bourdain, and he used to go to random places and eat just street food and like just walk around. I always wanted to do that. Do you ever do that?
Let's
Of
do it.
course, that's
I
the
think
best
that's
way.
part of like her job.
So what's the best place that you've like eaten?
There you go.
I mean, I just love food, so
Yeah, that's
I
what
can't
that's
pinpoint
for
one
sure. Pick
place.
one.
Like
So
When
let's
we-
say in Europe,
Pick it.
So,
favorite place to
funny-
eat in
Pick
Europe.
funny, when we went to Thailand, I had the best Indian food in Thailand.
Really?
Yes. There's a very large community of Indians in Bangkok, and we found some of the best Indian food in Bangkok,
Bangkok.
and cheap.
I mean, I
So
can
cheap.
imagine you're in,
How much?
you're in
Oh, like
Thailand.
literally like the equivalent of, I don't remember, like $12 for the both of us, $12 like in bahts.
Yo, let's go.
So
Fire food.
if
Like
there's something you had to eat,
Let's
that's
go
what
to
you would go
Bangkok.
to right now. Like,
I love going to Spain for the food because I'm a big fan of cheese.
But what is
Cheese,
I always
hams,
heard this.
jamón ibérico.
just don't tell.
Okay.
Go over there and see it for yourself, all right?
Okay,
Don't
I'll
they eat
look
like
It's
a
amazing
lot of
over there.
small?
First of all-
Yeah,
portions?
which I
So
love
it's
to
like
do because I
tapas.
like to eat so much. I like to try a lot of different things. So I'm a
Different-
huge
oh, I
fan of tapas. Like I prefer to order 20 different mini plates and try a bunch of different things than like one massive plate of.
And have some nice wine with it.
Yes.
I hear people only work like half a day and then they go to
They
sleep.
siesta.
Yeah.
Siesta, bro.
Are you doing like a book report?
I'm thinking about leaving, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you haven't been to Spain yet? You haven't been to Europe?
No. I'm not like a traveling guy. I like to go to beaches.
So-
that's my thing. If I'm gonna go on vacation, I need to rest. And I need to be on the beach.
Right.
I need to be drinking mojitos.
Listen, I get it, but
Well-
like after the third day of like lounging on a beach, I'm
Oh, I'm
just like
blacked out.
I need something.
I'm blacked out.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's talking
Yeah, I don't
about
remember
blackout
that.
drunk
So you
after
don't
work.
care to go like hiking or zip lining?
Oh, what? No, I'm afraid of heights. What?
I'm not doing any of that.
No, I'm not doing
You
it.
go and
You-
You're afraid of heights?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh
I would
my
never
God.
go hiking or
Manny
zip
and I
lining.
went
or
zip
none of
lining
that.
over a volcano in Costa Rica.
Oh my God.
And that shit was terrifying.
Whoa.
But think about this: what
And
if the
very
volcano goes off while you're
It
zip
was an
lining?
inactive volcano.
That's what you think.
So, I mean, I'm not that adventurous, man. I did zip lining, but it was like on a cruise ship, and I did it in Pennsylvania also. I'm not doing no.
I'll
My
do
wife
that.
did it over 2 mountains in Haiti and over a beach,
So
and
you
I was
guys
like,
don't.
nah.
You guys are not the adventurous type.
I like
am.
to explore
Yeah.
stuff. Like
What
when I
about
went
hiking?
to
You guys like to
Rome,
hike?
yeah,
I like to
I'll
hike.
hike. I'll hike.
I like
You know the one
adventures.
thing that New York
On
has
the
over
ground.
Florida? A lot of outdoor stuff to do. Like in Florida, all we have is the beaches. That's it. There's actually amazing mountains to hike up here in New York.
Yeah?
Upstate is beautiful.
Florida doesn't have like hiking, like a lot of hiking.
No.
So for the
Dog
audience
hiking.
that's probably gonna hear all these planes, it's Travel Tuesday. So
It's Travel Tuesday.
it's just a
hashtag
coincidence
Travel
that you're here and all these planes are flying.
Wait,
around.
travel.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
It's like a
it is
thing, yes.
Travel Tuesdays.
Why?
I think the flights are cheaper on Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. Is that how that works?
Then why do they call it Travel Tuesdays?
It's just it became a hashtag on social media. So if you
It's
if you're into
catchy,
travel
that's
space,
why.
you look at it and people are posting their
Oh,
Travel
yeah?
Tuesday pictures.
Oh,
You'll take a picture right now and
Like Throwback
hashtag.
Thursday?
I
Or
traveled
Taco
far
Tuesdays.
today,
Right?
all the way up to Washington.
Oh wait, where'd you come from?
We live on the Upper East Side.
Oh,
Upper East Side?
We don't
So it was
Well,
a
that's
little
not
bit-
that far though.
No.
No,
Upper
but they have to
East
come
Side.
west and then come up.
Yeah.
So how do you like watch that?
Well, I took an Uber, so I don't really.
There you go.
Oh, you didn't get
Fancy.
fancy.
Do it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Manny.
I did.
Actually,
I
how'd
will,
you
I
get
will
over
say
here,
I
bro?
came up one
I
time
came
when
from
the
work and I work in Tribeca.
okay.
Oh, so you
Oh,
took the
see?
train over here.
Yeah.
straight shot for him though.
Yeah,
You were saying?
that's good. I'm sorry.
That the only time I did come up here once when the Golden Girls Cafe opened.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Ooh.
I thought
I
it
used to
closed
live.
down.
No, it closed down for a little bit. It opened again.
Oh.
No, it opened again, dude. I passed by the other day.
He knows.
I used to live a block away.
If
Do
there's
you go in
something,
there and have the cheesecake?
No, I used to go there
So
to
good.
have like get coffee. I really don't drink coffee like that, but I just like being in there because the owner is really nice.
Yeah.
And he actually used to know one of the Golden Girls,
Yes.
and she
The
was
one
like,
that used to play Blanche.
right, yeah,
She was the slut.
yeah.
of the
He's
show.
really cool.
This is a random
was.
watch the Heights
Did
fact.
Did you ever
that I
watch the
didn't.
Golden Girls? then?
Hell
I
no.
did.
See, that's the thing. Like, I was
I
a
did.
diehard
I
Golden Girls
wasn't.
fan, so like when that opened, I was like, we gotta go.
My youngest brother
The
is
Golden
a
Girls used to
huge
get a
Golden
poppin'.
Girls fan.
Yes,
Yeah.
they.
I've never
I
seen
want to call them like the old school version of Sex in the City. Like when Sex in the City
Okay,
gets
yeah, I
old,
can see that.
you know those
I
girls.
see that.
Yeah,
You know, we
They're
could do a
60s.
movie on that. I
There's
think
still
it'll
one
sell.
that's like an
It's
airhead,
pretty
one
funny.
that's a little bit
Well,
like
they're
a
almost
slut.
there.
Yeah, that's true.
The other one that's like the smarty pants.
Oh.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I like that
I don't
other.
know. I don't like Sex in the City.
No,
Just Sarah Jessica Parker. Like,
no, I like Sarah Jessica Parker. In
Alright,
Sex
so
and the
just
City.
picture her,
I'm
but in
fuck
her
with that.
70s. Would you watch it then?
yeah,
Hell
I might,
yeah.
I might.
You know what? She used to get crazy with her heels, bro.
Yeah.
She used to be running with them shits. I'm like, yo, this chick is
Think
wild.
about all these women
What?
like
This
in
chick
their,
is
in their
wild.
60s in retirement, 60s and 70s, right? Like their husbands have died and they're all living together like back in
Right.
college, 4 roommates.
Yeah, bro.
And they're still trying to
Thank you
date.
for
They're still
being-
trying to.
That'd
I think
be
that's
funny.
hilarious.
That's the thing.
Now that you bring that up, I'm not gonna say it.
Wait, what's that
It's
show
gonna
with the two old ladies on Netflix?
The two
Frankie
old-
and
Oh yes.
Frankie and something.
Yeah.
Something and Frankie.
So we're
I
plugging
can't
in
remember
every
right
now.
single
That
show
show
and
is
Netflix
funny.
right now.
All the shows about old people.
It's like
Every show right
it's
now.
funny. It's called Frankie.
It has
Frankie and something.
the lady that I respect, Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda, which was also in Monster and all, which we were chatting about.
Oh yeah,
right
we were
before.
talking about that. Yeah.
So how do you? Well, you have. Are you gonna explore the heights when you get a chance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is
Isn't
the
there a
monkey
hiking
room.
spot that
Yo,
you guys
there
did?
is, there is.
What was the
A
bridge I
hiking
saw
trail.
that was over on the, I guess, the East River?
Okay.
There was a beautiful bridge
Oh,
crosswalk.
High Bridge. That's the High Bridge.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
We actually were part of a coalition that raised $50-something million. It was called the High Bridge Coalition. Give Me Grow was part of that. And Mayor Bloomberg was the one that he donated most of the money to get that reopened because
Yeah,
it was
man.
closed
It was
for
closed.
So
a
that
really long
connects,
time.
like, where does it connect?
To the Bronx.
Washington
Oh,
Heights to the
okay.
Bronx.
It's actually a walking.
It's a
bridge.
walk. Yeah, I saw people walking on it. I'm like, oh,
So
that looks
somebody threw a
beautiful.
cinder block over the highway, and that's why they closed it off. And it was closed. They're really morbid right now.
Yeah.
So they closed it off for a
Yeah,
really
you
long
took a
time.
dark turn on that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know where it was going, so I had to.
I don't know where
But
we're going.
that's, that's New York, right?
No, but there's other thing. The nightlife here, it's good.
How long you been here?
The
Let's
food
ask
is
our
good.
guests some questions.
Wait, yeah.
So I've been
okay.
here for 4 years.
Okay.
I've been here for 4 years.
But she's been traveling back and forth to New York. So
I
she knows.
traveled.
She just says she hates Times Square. Any New Yorker that says that
They've been
is
here
a
for
real
little
New
bit.
Yorker.
They've been here for a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, when I was just visiting, I would love it, right? And then
Yeah,
now it's
right.
just like crowds of people, and it's just like they're not moving fast enough, and it's just a cluster, and I just
Because you need to get to
I
where you're
avoided,
I
like,
don't
the
go into
plague.
Manhattan unless I have to. Like unless I there's a purpose for me going down there.
Where do you try to hang out in the city? Do you like New York over like anywhere else to live? All
Absolutely.
the places that you've been?
yeah.
She just
It's just like so convenient. I just feel like once you live in New York, there's no other city that really 100% compares.
Maybe San Francisco. Maybe.
No.
I've never been there, so I can't vouch for you.
I like San Francisco, but have you had to walk on those streets?
I mean, there's a lot of homeless.
There's a lot of hills,
no, those
right?
hills. I'm not talking about the
Yeah.
homeless. I'm talking about hills.
I mean, I'm from the Bronx. So hills are okay. I'm just saying.
I mean, no, I mean San Fran's great. I just like I really love that you can live in a place where you can experience all 4 seasons, right? I never, you guys, I never saw snow until like my 30s.
Man.
Wow. You can have all the snow you want.
I never knew what it was like to see like the changing of the seasons and like see like the leaves turn
really
from
nice,
like green to brown and
Right.
orange and all these beautiful colors, and
That's true.
it's
I really
a
like the
beautiful
fall
thing.
too. Yeah.
We
It's-
I
take it
think
for
if you
granted.
go through
Florida,
that
you're just,
cycle
like,
twice,
stuck.
afterwards you'll be like, oh, it's okay.
I think it takes
Well,
like
she's
10
gonna do
years.
it 4
I've gone
times,
through 4
right?
years. I'm
It takes
four-
like
I'm
10
here
years.
4
You
times.
still like the snow and all that stuff?
I
It
love
takes 10 years, bro.
Yeah, it takes at least 10 years.
You can
I
have
mean,
all
I'm
that.
not saying that I love it when it's 21 degrees
Yeah.
consistently, you know, on those days when it gets really, really brutal. And
Yeah.
like seriously, and like even today, I was kind of annoyed that I like kind of still had to bring my jacket because it's still a little muggy after the sun goes down, and it's like June and that shouldn't be happening.
True.
But I'll still take that over the heat and the humidity.
Right.
Well,
That's
we
true.
could, we could
Florida
trade.
is kind of
I live
like
in
sticky
Florida.
heat too.
It's always a sticky heat.
So besides Miami and New York and San Francisco, besides the U.S., where are some places that you've traveled to?
So
We mentioned Spain because my brother
went to
interrogated
Spain.
you.
I actually still have
I
family that
wasn't
lives in Spain.
interrogated.
That's why I go frequently.
Oh,
And I
that's
had some
cool.
good friends that got married in Madrid recently, so we went there. And then I actually met some family members in Menorca, which is in the Balearic Isles off of Spain. That some of the family that I had never met before, which was really cool. And I got to see the house where my great grandmother was born. Not born, sorry, where she was raised, because she was actually born in Ibiza. But so I got to explore parts of Spain I hadn't explored
okay.
yet. So the islands are amazing. Paris is great. I've been to Rome. I did a study abroad in Spain one summer, and then during that study abroad,
You were
I went
able
to
travel.
Rome, I went to Paris, I went to Amsterdam,
On trains?
trains, yeah, and I took some flights also. Cheap.
That sounds
Traveling in
fun.
between Europe is
It's the
so
best thing.
cheap.
I heard you could take like
flights are so
yeah.
cheap. You could just, you know, explore
never been
Europe
to
like
Europe.
that.
So I've been trying to convince these guys, you know.
Listen, man, I gotta go to Africa first.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
actually
There
one of the
we
places
go.
I want to go for our honeymoon.
I'm just saying, I gotta go.
Oh, you
I gotta
guys
go
haven't picked a
first,
place
then
yet?
I'll do
No.
Europe. Then we can-
So does Manny get to pick that place? I mean, us as
Only if
men.
he's gonna plan it.
Wait, but we don't. I'm with you, bro. I don't plan anything either. You know, it's just.
Man, you go to Africa.
I
Play with the
don't, man.
lions.
They give me the itinerary. Rick, this is what we're doing. Get the outfits ready. That's just how it is. bro.
Outfits ready?
Yeah.
You're the one that fucking dresses everybody? Oh,
My
your
outfit.
Your
Yeah,
outfit.
your
My
outfits.
outfit.
Which, by the way,
I went
getting
into the
your outfits
closet.
ready for a man on vacation, it means like one pair of shorts, maybe one
No,
pair
no,
of
no.
pants, and then you switch up your
So like 4
different
shirts.
I mean, yes,
Yes.
you're right.
For real.
But the footwear is very important. I need to know if we're walking
What?
a lot or if
Oh,
we're not.
That's true.
Can I wear my nice boat shoes or my sneakers?
Right.
I just need to know some things like
Keep
that.
up your
Crocs.
toes, man.
Or your Crocs.
But Spain, you said Spain, Thailand, or
We went,
Amsterdam,
I've been to Amsterdam.
Paris,
Costa Rica was amazing
Costa
also.
Rica,
Rica's beautiful.
where you almost killed Manny
Yes.
over
Wait, what
a
happened in Costa
volcano.
Rica? Oh,
We
zip
went
lining.
zip lining over a volcano. It was
Volcano.
really, really
Mention
cool.
that.
In
An active
Arenal.
volcano.
Yeah.
So where
and
would
then,
you?
I went to Israel for the first time ever last October, and that was amazing.
That's the picture
Mind
that we
blowing,
use with the camel.
really like an experience I really didn't.
You were in the
expect.
Dead Sea as well.
I did. I went to the Dead Sea.
Took a little dip. Do you actually float? Cause that's
You
there's so much.
100% float. You
So
just
you don't even know how. You don't have to
there's
know how to
so
swim.
much salt. No, I
That's
don't.
it's really
crazy.
salty.
It's very salty.
Did you taste it?
It is.
Did you like go
It is.
under and then?
And they,
I mean,
they
I
actually,
know.
for the women, they tell you like don't shave 24 hours before because if your
Wait.
pores are open,
The
you're
hair
gonna.
comes off?
What happens when you like have a little nick and then you go in the salt water? It stings like crazy.
Oh, okay.
I had like salt in my ear for like days. I had like as much as I washed my hair, I still had like chunks of salt because they dry up. You don't see it, and then all of a sudden you're crispy.
That's wild.
lot of salt, but yes.
So do
That
not
was
shave
amazing.
before
The
you go
food,
into
the
the
one,
Dead Sea.
I will tell you, some of the best food I had, I have to say, is in Israel.
Israel.
And
Yeah.
they eat very, I mean, it's the Mediterranean, right? Like they eat very healthy, but their food is just the hummus, with the lamb.
Oh
and
yeah,
the
I'm all
street
about
food
the
was
hummus.
amazing. They have a lot of fresh markets, like farmers markets. that you
baba
go buy.
ganoush.
Yes, baba ganoush. Kibe.
Have
you had
Why
kibe?
are you looking at me like that, bro?
Listen, if
fuck
there's
you know about
one thing that
barbecue?
being married has taught me is to expand my horizons.
Your palate.
Yeah,
Right.
and Greek food and stuff like that.
Yes.
India, I won't give in to Indian food.
Oh my God, Indian food is
What?
amazing.
I just
Don't
you
you
like
have to eat it with
spicy?
your hands though?
No, that's Ethiopian.
That's Ethiopian.
the thing is, I said I'll try it one time.
Do you
but
like spicy food?
I do.
Because
I do.
Indian food tends to be spicy. You can make it as spicy as you want it to be,
Yes.
but it's so flavorful. Like curry, coconut.
My thing is
You're making me
curry.
hungry right
Yeah, it's good.
You know,
Like that.
I
Get you like a cultural anthropology class.
Bro, I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and rice and
Damn.
beans. And I like roasted chicken. I like steak.
Wow.
I like salmon.
Ooh,
That's it.
pretty diverse, bro.
I'm good with Mexican food. Like I'll eat anything. Like you put something in front of me,
Does
I'll
Benny
probably
have a
eat it.
girlfriend?
That's complicated.
It's complicated.
I was gonna say because we need to get you a wifey that
Right?
expands your
It's
palate and
Yo.
gets you off that PB and J. You know,
Holla at us,
like
Benny.
I'm
Whoa, 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 whoa.
PB and J is
Peanut
acceptable.
butter and jelly is delicious.
It is.
I don't want to hear
Have
it.
you had crunchy almond butter though?
Ooh, I fucked with
I only
wait.
have the
I fucked with
crunchy
almond
peanut butter.
I fucked with almond butter.
I
No,
mess with the
listen.
crunchy peanut butter with the. Well, what happened? Why are you looking at me like
Almond
that?
butter's the way, man.
Almond butter?
Almond butter's way
Nah, I
better.
don't mess with that.
All right.
What
Now I
is
feel
it?
bad that
Because I don't mess with
Hey,
almond
what's
milk.
wrong with you? This is your little brother, bro.
Wait, first of all, he don't listen to me. That's the first thing.
I
Second,
just want him to expand his palate beyond.
No,
peanut
I
butter and
eat-
jelly.
I agree.
Rice and
I'll
beans.
eat whatever. Like, I'll eat whatever.
he'll try
if
it. It's
good.
just nobody's ever been like, yo, let's go have
But
this.
my boys on the
Yo.
weekends, we're not like, yo, let's go to the Indian restaurant over there.
Benny, I'm
Nah,
sorry. I'm sorry for that.
that's not what's happening.
You live in New York City,
There's an Indian
which is
restaurant
like
right down the
literally
street.
like
First
has the
of all,
best food in the world.
I've lived in Washington Heights and in the Bronx
There's
and
one in the corner
in
right
East
there,
Harlem.
like-
Okay.
So I
Which is
mess
still
with
considered New York City, right?
I mess with Chicken Spot.
Ooh,
I
Oh,
mess
here we go.
with
Kennedy?
Here we go.
Dominican food from
Kennedy's.
the Heights.
Okay.
And in the Bronx, I mess with everything. Whatever's
I mean-
around. Mostly McDonald's and the
No.
deli. The deli.
Damn, the
No, some
And
Puerto
the
Rican. So
deli.
you know what I love? Mofongo. I do love mofongo.
Oh.
Oh, Mofongo. Yeah, Mofongo House.
Oh, actually, Mofongo House. There's a big. It's on 207. 207 in Sherman. If you like music and the food, you go to Keroke, which is at the end of this month.
Shout out
Que
to
lo que.
Yeah, okay.
On the 20.
It's like a live typical
Oh my
man.
God.
Okay.
You know, like merengue ripiao, typical music.
Oh, my phone's. I'm looking for my phone.
So
It's the last Saturday of this month, and they always last month they had Improvillo, which is
Yeah, it gets fun.
it's a good vibe. Like
If you like to dance.
you like to
if
dance,
you don't like to
live
dance,
music and food, good food.
I love to dance. Manny loves to dance.
Manny loves
Wait,
to dance.
hold
He
on.
looks like he likes to dance.
Manny, what's going on
I
back
don't
there?
know if he loves to
Salsa?
dance.
Wawanko? No.
Yeah, he likes
No?
to dance.
Can I ask Manny one question? Manny,
Grunting.
for the wedding, you guys picked out like your first dance and all that.
Bro,
already?
why are you so concerned about that wedding?
We
I'm
haven't
trying
done
to talk to
He
anything.
misses his wedding, bro. He misses.
Bro,
Ricky
your
misses
your
his
wedding is over. You get no more weddings.
That's it. I can't do it again.
Nah, that's it, bro.
Oh my god.
It's a wrap.
So for
Never
guys
again.
like Benny that haven't really traveled that much or eaten that
I
much,
have traveled.
or give us
But I
some
go to
recommend.
beaches. Bro, I'm sorry about that.
Give us like 5 of the best places to go visit at this moment in time right now in the world that you would pick to.
I think Benny would love Cartagena.
Okay.
Where's that?
It's in Colombia.
Just say it.
Where is that?
Cartagena is in Colombia.
Okay. Why? Why?
It's a great spot for maybe you guys should switch your Vegas
Yo,
trip to Cartagena.
yeah.
I really think.
I don't think I'll be
So
allowed
Cartagena?
to go.
Well, I
to
feel like it gets crazy.
Nah,
She
they
didn't
won't
want to
let
tell
you go to
You don't
Cali.
have
So
to tell
I have
me
a
if you
funny
don't wanna
story
tell
about
me.
that, but we won't get too much into it. But I basically went to Cartagena on a girls' trip.
Okay.
Basically just to weekend getaway. It's
Wait,
very
you
beautiful.
flew 8 hours for just on a weekend thing?
It was a Thursday to Sunday thing. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Me and three of my friends. Cartagena is beautiful. It's very affordable. The food is really good. A lot of nightlife, a lot of cool bars. It's very colonial from people that had gone before, they were like, it's very much like Cuba if you've never been, like the cobblestone streets. But yeah, it's a very popular spot for bachelors.
Wow.
I saw a lot of things that I wish I hadn't seen. And I came back from that trip and I said to Manny, you are never going to Cartagena without me ever. And guess where Manny went on his friend's bachelor trip?
Oh.
Yay,
Manny! I was gonna invite him to come.
I only saw pictures of him in like the national monuments.
That's
and,
all they did.
You know,
That's all
That's
Manny
all that
did.
happened.
Manny went straight home to the hotel right afterwards. Took a little nap.
That's it.
Damn. Question it, man.
so Cartagena's a good spot.
That's one.
There it
Give us
is.
another one.
I honestly, Israel's
Israel?
amazing. It's
Yo,
a very
I've
small
heard.
country, so you can pretty much cover the entire country in a week. It's very spiritual, and there's a lot of really good culture and a lot of incredible food. So I loved Israel.
That's super. You had something.
And there's
you
direct
said?
flights
Oh, no.
from New York into Tel Aviv. So, and Tel Aviv is very much like Miami, that nightlife vibe, very much like a lot of clubs, a lot of nightlife.
Okay.
The people in Israel are really fit, very fit.
So I ain't going.
Like when I was there,
I'm
I
gonna
would
fit
go-
in, bro.
Me and
I-
Chris
I
gonna
like-
I'ma fit in.
I try to work out a lot when I travel, just to
Right.
stay on routine. And I remember going for a run on the beach in Tel Aviv, and like girls and even guys just like running topless and beautiful, and like all
So,
these incredible
yeah.
bodies.
So I'm gonna have to go extra hard in the gym.
I think you would really like
before I
Tel
go
Aviv.
there.
That's two. She gave you two places already.
So next, I would definitely say Thailand.
Oh yeah,
Thailand is amazing.
that one sounds good.
Oh yeah, that one sounds good.
Why
Why
you
you
like-
Is
smirking
it
like
because you
that?
saw it on The Hangover?
That and you were saying that it's super cheap. So
It is very affordable.
that and like the mixture of that is like really good.
And the flight?
Yeah.
How long is the flight?
How
The
long is
flight
it?
was long. We had to connect from here to China, was like 16 hours, and then we had another layover in China, and then it was like another 2 hours. Yeah, it's a long flight,
I get close.
but it's
I
worth
like New
it.
York too.
It's
It is
different.
so beautiful.
It's different. I try to tell people that like I'm scared of heights and planes because I'm a brother.
Right.
But I try to tell people it's a different flight when you're going over like to Europe. They feed you and you see so much stuff that you don't really.
Bro, that's a long time.
It is a
But
long
it's
time.
not bad. When
You're
you're going
taking
the
a
opposite
day away
way,
from
it's the
your
same
life.
thing. They still feed you. They still
Yeah.
take care of you. It's just, you know, it's a long flight, but if you want to see the world, you have to do it. And
You have
it's
to do
worth
it.
it. You know what I mean? But listen, if you don't want to go abroad, like the United States is very beautiful.
That's
And
true.
I personally love Cali.
Okay.
Have you guys done Napa Valley?
There you go.
Napa Valley, San Francisco.
got a
That's
Cali
a
guy
trip
right
that
here.
you can
Santa
do.
Rosa.
So
One of the only
amazing.
Puerto Rican restaurants. Shout out El Coquí.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
Wow.
beautiful.
Look at that.
Oh, and I want to say this: Dominicans in Cali, they're a group in California. There's
Okay.
not Dominican food in California, but there is a market now that just
One.
opened. One market,
El Mambi.
and they just put
Really?
up the address and everything. So for
Glendale,
us,
California. El Mambi.
Oh,
If you
Glendale.
need salami, queso
Yeah.
de freír.
My friend just moved to Glendale.
so if you want to get products,
From LA. From
yeah.
Hollywood, yeah.
This guy was over there, and he was like,
I love Cali. That's you know what? Cali's a place that I could live if I ever got
Yeah.
tired of New York, which I
Yeah.
don't see myself doing. But the only thing that drives me crazy about Cali is especially in LA, is the traffic.
Yeah.
so when they make flying cars, don't worry, it's
Yeah.
it'll be
But
Don't worry about that.
Cali's amazing. You know, Malibu, the hiking that you have on that side is just, you combine the beaches, you have combine hiking.
The
There's
desert.
incredible food. You have the desert. You can go skiing in the winter,
Yeah.
a couple hours north, but then go down to San Diego and be in like beaches. You know,
That's crazy.
Cali's an
Surf.
awesome.
and you could just go into
And the TJ.
Mexico
Yeah, you
whenever
can do
you
that
want.
too.
That's
So
cool.
she gave you the first one was Cartagena, then you said Tel Aviv, Israel,
Yes, absolutely.
then you said
California.
Bangkok.
Thailand. You got
Thailand.
excited about that.
Nice.
California in the
I like the
U.S.
first one too.
And we'll give him one last one.
I really loved
I
Puerto
like
Rico.
Colombia.
Well, he's been to
Ooh.
PR,
I love
so
Puerto
he
Rico.
said he
Did
would
you go
retire.
hiking in El Yunque?
I will never
I
go
did.
hiking anywhere.
Forgot, you're not the adventurous type.
But I did go to Osaka.
I did, and it was amazing. And
I
I'm mad
loved
that
it.
the hurricane messed it up,
I've never
but
been to Puerto Rico. actually.
It's-
Really?
you have to go,
Beautiful.
bro.
Yeah, it is. I was
amazing.
honestly, and I
Osan
went
Juan,
before
I
the
love it.
hurricane
Condado.
recently happened, and I was very surprised. I kind of went to tag along on a friend's trip, and I was really just like surprised. Like I was
Right.
like, wow,
He was
Puerto
supposed to
Rico's
go to
beautiful.
Mexico. And he
Yeah, I was
ended up
supposed to
in
go
PR.
to Mexico
Oh,
and
yeah.
I ended up in Puerto Rico.
But What the
That's
fuck
a
flight?
crazy.
You took the wrong flight or something?
No, I didn't have my passport, so apparently Puerto Rico lets you in, but
Yeah,
Mexico
yeah.
they won't let
Well,
you in without your
Of
passport.
course,
so.
He
not.
got
It's
the,
a different country.
No, I got a passport card because somebody told me that if my brother told me
I
that-
told you to get both.
No,
Penis
he
brain.
didn't. No, he
Alright.
did not.
Alright.
Don't say
Alright,
that.
so
Don't
you
lie.
ended up in Puerto Rico. You had a good
Yeah,
time.
But I ended up
But
in
he
Puerto
loved it.
Rico
He loved
and
it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It worked out.
So-
Another place,
So
Hawaii.
thank you.
Hawaii. I've never
Hawaii.
been.
Hawaii is
so I
a
would
very
go.
long flight. That I will say.
Yeah, I don't know.
From
and my
Cali to
recommend-
Hawaii.
From
it's
Cali
not-
to Hawaii, it's not as bad. What I'm saying, when you're coming from New York,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. 'cause
Yeah,
have
then
to
you
go,
gotta make that West
yeah.
Coast.
But if you're gonna go to Hawaii, I say at least go for a week, maybe even more, because it takes you literally 2 or 3 days to get acclimated to
Really?
the time. The first day I got there, I would wake up every day at 4 in the morning for like the first 3 days that I was there.
What time would you go to
Time
bed?
difference is crazy.
I mean, normal time, like 10, 11.
It's just a time
but it's just
difference,
like
so
your
that's good.
time difference. Your body's still
Your
on East
circadian
Coast
rhythm.
time, so.
Right.
But a lot of cool volcanoes, a lot of beautiful hiking, really good poke. If you guys love poke, which I
Ooh.
love poke. I'm a huge
poke bowls?
Okay.
poke bowls, like the freshest tuna poke I've ever had, the best
Yeah.
in a supermarket in Hawaii.
They just opened
I
one
know what that
right
is.
here in 177.
It's
It's like
raw.
sushi almost.
So do you
Yeah.
like sushi?
Oh
Tuna?
yeah, yeah.
So it's like raw, different kinds of fish, but my personal favorite is tuna poke. And it's just the way that they season it and they chop it up, kind of put it into a bowl, and then you mix it up with
Sauce in
different.
it.
My favorite sushi involves eel.
I fucks with those.
That's
Eel
crazy.
sauce?
Yeah, like dragon rolls. I fucks with those.
Dragon rolls.
That's what they're called, bro.
So if
I know, man.
we have a
Sounds
young
interesting.
lady watching this episode and they wanted to get into traveling, food and PR and all that, what
Yes.
advice would you give them about that world?
Yeah,
that
so
lifestyle?
I mean, PR is a relationships based job. It's a career that's basically sold. You're successful at it based on the relationships that you have. And so I've always been. I'm very social, and I do like to. I like to meet new people, and so if you're outgoing and you like to meet new people, I mean, it's definitely an outward-facing role. But network. Study whatever industry that you're really interested in. I accidentally ended up in travel, but now I can't imagine working in any other industry. I mean, I meet other publicists. I'm on the board of the PRSA New York chapter here, and like there's a bunch of different publicists in different industries. Like they'll be working for healthcare or tech or finance, and like I just think to myself, what you're promoting, I don't know, science. You have to really like the industry you're in. Personally, my first job working at a PR firm, my client was American Express, and I was miserable because I was literally pitching finance reporters all day long. Like, please write about American Express's new travel rewards program on their credit card, and it was so boring.
So we had a sponsorship with MX, and you just might have.
I'm
killed
sorry.
me. I'm just
I'm-
kidding.
I have an Amex.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
When you're pitching finance reporters,
Yeah,
you
it's
have a
not-
different vibe.
yeah.
Whereas today, I can give you an example. Quincy, Diddy's son,
Yeah.
was just
What?
at one of our resorts. He left this today, and so we did a quick little photo shoot with him at the hotel before he left. And so I already pitched it to all the media. They want to cover what celebrities doing where they're staying, where they're vacationing. I sent it to the New York Post. They'll run it. So it's just much more exciting. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, Quincy stayed at our resort. He checked out the spa. He got
That's
a
dope.
massage. What can you tell me a little bit about where did he eat? They want to know where he ate. Then we can talk about the restaurant, and you really get to understand. And I get to travel, so you get to learn about the industry, but you actually you fully embrace it. So it's very different when that vibe is when you're pitching a finance reporter working in the travel industry. At the end of the day, people that are in the travel industry, like, you're selling them an experience.
Right.
And who doesn't love that, right? So
Benny.
What about that?
I love
Benny
that.
apparently.
I love
loves-
different experiences.
I think we need to bring the Rick.
But just let me
The
give me a
vacation.
beach.
We gotta bring
Just
it
give me a
to
beach.
let's do
Baja,
a
Baja.
live podcast from one of maybe
From Baja.
That'd be
Jamaica,
sick.
I'm willing to do it.
jerk chicken.
What? Jamaica?
All about
Are we
that.
going to Jamaica?
I'll do some ackee and saltfish all day.
So
Really?
I'm willing.
Oh, you know about Aki and
I don't know about
Saltfish.
He knows about everything. You guys, whenever I need to ask a question to Google, I ask him first because he's probably gonna have it
Right.
better, more accurate answer.
Who you think put it inside Google?
I don't know.
Wow, that
I'm
was
guessing
you?
it was you, bro.
Wow.
And
So-
also rabo encendido. I grew up with my grandfather. That was like his favorite food. Rabo
Oxtail?
encendido, but like very Jamaican. It's the best oxtail I ever had.
Oh, like spicy
Yes,
oxtail.
so
Okay.
good.
Do you have any advice
like-
for like
it's like
Instagram
oxtail, like,
travelers? Like I see people on Instagram like, and they spend all their money
Like
going
how?
different places. They go,
Like
they,
what places to go to?
Yeah,
Show us the pose though. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they spend all their money going different places,
Right.
and that's like all they do. They're basically spending like their family's money or like
Wow.
whatever little money they have.
Maybe that's what
like,
you
what-
think they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I actually know people that it was in the news that there was this
Putting
this
people
girl
on
that
blast.
she
Like
wasted.
the Friar Festival? Is
No,
that what you're talking
that
about?
she wasted all her like she took a loan out and she wanted to be like really like Instagram famous, so she went to all these places
She was not
and
that bright
she
then.
like, just destroyed her life.
So
Man,
yeah,
bro.
definitely don't take out a loan and just like quit
Don't
your
do that.
job and travel the world because I
Okay.
mean it might
That's
not
no,
work.
but you
Get the
guys
check,
think it's
right?
funny,
Yeah.
but people do that.
But
I'm
like
saying,
no,
but the-
I mean if I wasn't in the travel industry, I mean traveling is important to me, so I prioritize traveling. Like I would prefer to, and I mean everybody spends their money on different things,
Different
right? Like
things,
you save up for different whatever you're saving up for. Some people, I'd prefer to spend my money on a plane ticket, $1,000 plane ticket, than
For the experience and
than a bag.
what you're gonna.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, that's true.
So,
Priorities.
but I mean, everybody's different. Instagram and social media in general has really changed a lot the way that we travel because even we work with influencers, right? From a hotel standpoint, we look to find really good influencers that fit our target demographic to kind of showcase what we offer, right? To get people to want to go. But at the end of the day, there's also still a fine line right now, right? Because you don't know anymore who's getting paid to be there, and
Right.
versus who's saying, "Wow, this hotel was incredible," because they really genuinely
Right.
liked it, right? So I think
Just
that there's
like the Fire Festival.
yeah, there's a fine line between the influencer world specifically travel. But I know me, I'm a consumer, and when I go to book travel now, I no longer go to the website. Like I'm right now booked my bachelorette trip to the SLS in Baja Mar, and I'm like all up on their Instagram page looking at like their pictures to check out the pool and the restaurant and
See
like
who's tagged them.
yeah.
Or
and,
the
like,
reviews that
Yeah.
people that have stayed there, right? Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like Instagram has kind of changed the way we book travel, and you're on IG all the time, right? You see all these like, oh my God, how beautiful! Where is this place? I want to go. It's more visual now, versus
True,
going to
right.
Google and going to Expedia and
Right.
Or you
doing
can
your
just
research.
ask Craze. He's
Or you
probably
could just
been
see
there.
And people when they like, I guess with food is the same thing, right? But travel is very much on like references. You want to ask your friends like, oh, you got to go to that spot. It was so
Yeah.
good. Check it out when you go. Like you book based on recommendations because you trust what other people that you have, the same philosophy.
People that you have trust in.
Yeah, and
you
they'll be
trust
like, hey,
them.
that's a really good restaurant. If you love steak, go there. You're gonna love it, right? So people trust word of mouth more these days than what a hotel website says.
Right.
So she gave us 5 places to visit. I can actually ask her for more, and I'll put it up on our Instagram and our website. I want to congratulate you guys on your engagement. Good luck on the wedding and your
Thank you,
marriage.
thank
I want to thank Cessie for coming onto the show.
Wait, they wanna ask.
Oh, we're gonna ask the audience if they have a question for you. So this is up, and I guess Julisa's first.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
You mentioned top 5. You never been to DR?
I have
Oh.
been to DR. I'm sorry. I have been to DR. To be honest with you, I went to it's been a long time. I went to the DR like I want to say when I graduated college, so it's been a while. And I went on a family vacation and it was not a good experience. And I think that I just didn't go to the right places. So
And
I
Benny's
stayed
Dominican,
at
so that's why she didn't get
I
it.
stayed at the Bávaro Beach.
Okay.
Okay, I mean that's Punta Cana, That's
Okay.
I
I
get it.
didn't.
It's
I
alright.
just remember I did, and again, it wasn't all inclusive, and it probably wasn't one of the best. But
Oh, you didn't really see it.
I didn't like the food, and but I can't say I really saw DR because I didn't really leave the hotel. You know
Well,
what
if
I
you
mean?
walk around the heights.
But Palace Resorts,
You've been there.
Yeah.
no, Palace Resorts is building a hotel in Punta Cana, so I'll
Hey.
be going
Well, there
there
we
a
go.
lot soon.
So we'll be
2021.
broadcasting
Palace
live
Resorts.
from that
We're
hotel
gonna be in
in
Palace
2021.
2021.
Okay.
Shooting our first Que Lo Que, our first episode. Julie, what's your second question?
My second question is, do you feel that being in the PR world,
Yes.
do you feel that there's a lot of double standard, especially like in diversity, en cuestión de diversity?
D&I, diversity and inclusion. And
In the
because you're a woman,
PR world,
The
or you
PR
mean in
world.
travel?
In the
per se?
PR world.
I there's definitely a lack of diversity and inclusion, and I think the industry is recognizing that. I know, at least from our standpoint, I'm on the board for PRSA New York, and that was like our main initiative last year, was to basically really, bring that topic to light and make it a little bit more, get people talking about it, right? Because a lot of people aren't talking about it. But I still think that PR is so female driven too, that I don't see enough men in PR. I mean, you walk into an agency and it's a bunch of girls. Like my entire team is girls. Like there
That's
aren't
We
a
met
lot.
a male PR agent at the panel.
There are some, but it's still very much a female dominated industry.
I'm gonna have to get in there.
So
Jen,
Yes.
what's your question?
I'm gonna have to get in there.
Oh, sorry. So being someone that's been fortunate enough to travel a lot as well.
Yes.
I'm totally like the adventurous kind. I was wondering what was like the most uncomfortable, maybe out of your comfort zone adventure thing you've done while you were traveling.
Oh my God, so many. So when we went to Thailand, that was a culture shock, because especially not so much in Bangkok, because Bangkok is still a major city and it's very touristy. So you'll find people that speak English, but like when we went into the smaller towns like Phuket, like they don't speak English, they don't speak Spanish, they don't. So it was like the communication there. That's a challenge, And then I'm not gonna lie, when I went to Israel, I went with a lot of like just uncertainty, just because because of the political climate. And I have friends that are Palestinian, and they had like very strong opinions about my visit to Israel. And so I was I went, okay, let me check this out, and I fell in love with Israel, and I'm dying to go back, and I just like have so much respect for the Israeli culture, and like it's a very spiritual place, and it was very uncomfortable in certain parts. When you visit the Western Wall, that's like the energy that you feel when you're getting close there is like, it's crazy. But it's definitely a country that I think everybody should go to, for sure. Yeah.
Anybody else have a question?
Anybody else?
Question.
Speak now,
Huh?
forever hold your peace. No, I'm just
Five,
kidding.
4,
I want to
3.
thank Cessie Cerrato for coming all the way uptown to the Heights. Even though we're not the first podcast,
I'm sorry.
I want to thank Manny for coming out.
Manny, thank you.
I can always count on Manny for support.
And I also would like to thank the audience for coming, because our podcast is different because we do have an audience.
Word.
And
Shout out to the
Yeah.
audience.
Stay
Saying
tuned.
Why we're different.
June 11th, we're going to have Brenda Raquel
Ooh.
on our show next week. So that's our next episode. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Let's go. Come on. Is that really?
We're gonna get you off that PB&J though.
Nah, I love it. You never.
Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building with the chauffeur. Yeah, and he waiting on me. Got umbrella in his hands and my name in the seats. No gift, baby, no thanks. No chinchillas, baby, so what happened to Frank? No phone calls, transactions hand in hand. Give the drugs to Rick, the money to Benny Banks. Talk to Craze and he talks to me. Keep my business out the streets, it's the ART.